Okay, so before starting our session, so I'll tell you how exactly we will proceed further in the course. So basically there are four modules. So we divide the syllabus into four modules. The first two modules is a basic Selenium, and the next two modules is advanced Selenium, where you can see a framework, grid and maven and some miscellaneous concepts. Okay, so after each and every module we will give you a project. Okay, project in the sense we will give some manual test cases. You need to automate them, right? So the next, I mean, we will give you in the time of weekend, somewhere around Thursday or Friday after finishing the module. So once module is finished, on the Monday we will discuss again about the project. Here is a sample, like open Firefox, hit some website, verify the title of the page. This is one manual steps. You can will be switching to other module. Okay, like we'll have a fresh revision before switching to other module. In such a way, there are totally four modules, right? So as I told earlier, module 1 and 2 are it's about a basic Selenium. Yeah. uh, can we let's start with an introduction of Selenium. So before that, is my voice audible to you all? You can send me in a chat box if you face any problem, either voice problem or if you could not understand the things, anything, right? So the first and let me minimize this. The first and foremost thing when you start about Selenium is it is an open source. I'll highlight this. Selenium is an open source. That means it's in freeware. You can download from internet for free of cost. Okay, no need of any. It's not a licensed product, and it's not somewhere it will expire in some time or not. Anyone can download it, okay, from the net, and this is the main characteristic feature why it's making hot in the market. This is an open source testing tool, right? And next thing, it is used only for web-based applications. You have to remember one thing. It is intended only for browser testing. If you have some Windows in your machine, then Selenium is not a right tool to automate that. But it's completely web-based. In the terms of web, it's a robust. Okay. And next, it works in multiple operating systems. Okay, if you take other tools in the market which are available to you like QTP or something, those will run only on Windows. But as a manual, as a QA tester, as a quality assurance engineer, there will be scope for us to run our test in multiple platforms like Mac, Linux, Ubuntu, Solaris, right? So if you want to run in multiple OS to check whether our application under test is working properly or not, if that is the case, the only tool available to you is the Selenium. It will work on Windows, I mean Mac, Linux and Solaris, right? And next is it supports multiple browsers. Selenium is the only tool in the market available which supports multiple browsers. It supports Internet Explorer, okay, it supports Chrome, it supports Firefox, it supports Safari, okay, it supports four browsers, and also it supports, okay, mobile testing also. I will tell you what version of Selenium supports a mobile later, okay. But basically it supports multiple browsers also and multiple platforms. The only tool in the market which supports multiple browsers and multiple platforms, and it is an open source. These characteristic features are making Selenium to stand in top in the market in current days. And well, now if you see the what are the languages used with Selenium, that means what languages, in what language you write your code. For example, if you take QTP, you will use VB scripting to write the code. But whereas in Selenium, totally you can write the code in 6 languages. One is Java, C Sharp, Ruby, Python, PHP, Perl. That means in totally 6 languages you can write your code. See, one thing you need to remember here. If your application is developed in C Sharp, that doesn't mean that you need to write code in C Sharp. Okay, it is an independent of the application. If your application is developed in Java, you can write your Selenium code in C Sharp, Ruby, or Python, anything. Okay, whatever, I mean, in whatever platform the application is developed, it is independent to you. You can use any of the following language to automate the website which was developed in any of other language. Okay, so don't assume that, okay, if some application is developed in Ruby, so I have to use Ruby. No, it's not like that. But majorly we'll be using Java to automate because it has a lot of features compared to other things. In our course, we'll be talking about Java only. We'll be using Java to automate. I mean, Selenium with Java will be using to automate. So one thing, if you are not well or if you are not good with Java, don't worry. The Java required for Selenium, I will teach you. Like whenever oops Java concepts arise, I will pause there and switch back to Java concepts, and I will teach you. I'll make you understand, and I'll switch back to Selenium. Okay. So you're a beginner of Java, that's not a matter. Because you don't require a high level Java here. A basic Java is required to write a Selenium code. Okay. So that will not be a problem to you. Most of people will fear to join Selenium by saying Java. Oh, I do not know Java how. But basically, we use OOPS principles, object-oriented principles. We will use in general. Okay, not a complete Java. Just like for loops, while loops, I teach you those. So that will not be a problem at all. Okay, and it's easy, not a big deal. Okay, so this is the basic introduction, like the first kickoff start. Okay, there are still introduction is there, history and all, how emerged Selenium, what are the versions, I'll teach you. But these are the kickoff start. The first foremost thing, if anybody asks you, like, it is an open source, it is intended only for web based. I can work in multiple operating systems, I can work in multiple browsers. Okay, and also I can write my stuff in multiple languages. So these things made the Selenium hot in the market, because there is, for example, now everyone are using Chrome's most of thing. In those days, Internet Explorer is only the browser used by majority of people. I mean, majority of internet users used IE as their browser in 3 4 years back. Okay, so for IE to browser, there are some other tools in the market uh, to automate. Like QTP works very well with IE Test Director, and some tools are there, automation tools. They work very well with IE, but present in 2013 that is not the case. If you check in Google, like what is the most browsers used by many Internet Explorer users, then answer is Chrome, and next Firefox. So testing strategies has been changed. The Chrome usage has been increased. That means a Chrome testing is much needed to the market now. It is mandatory that people should check whether their application is checking working properly in Chrome and Firefox or not. Okay, so Selenium is the only thing which supports a Chrome driver. Okay, in very well without any problems, and this is also one of the reason why market is looking towards it, right? And I'll talk about mobile testing also in some time. So this is the basic introduction. I'll share the document with you. No need of noting down or anything. Once the class is done, by end of the day, I'll sharing the document and the code which I have written on the day. The two documents I'll be sharing with you. So you can just copy paste and same code into your editor and run and see whether it's working properly or not. Right? So no need of noting down anything. Right. So if you are good with this introduction, like what general idea if you get, we will start with the Selenium history. That means what are the versions available in the market, how these versions are emerged, what are the drawbacks in all the versions, like something. So are you getting me? Okay, if you have any, please ping me in chat if you have any problem. Right. So can we move to other topic? Please acknowledge in the chat so that I'll be moving. Yes, thank you. See, I will in the two base one thing you need to remember, it's Selenium is not a new tool. Okay, it became I mean it, people focused on it recently, but that is not a right tool. And so after explaining about its history, you will understand why it is emerging as a top in current days, not before. Okay, right. So in 2004, a guy named Jason Huggins. Okay, will you provide Eclipse? Yeah, even in Mac you can do it. Okay, so in any OS you can download Eclipse. It's not a problem. It's independent, basically. Okay, right. Thank you. In 2004, a guy named Jason Huggins. He's from a ThoughtWorks company. So he developed a small Selenium API to automate his application, and that's nothing but a Selenium AP IDE. IDE is nothing but Integrated Development Environment. That is a record and playback tool. That was the first Selenium tool. I'll make it large in a second. This was the first tool released in the market, Selenium IDE. Okay, it is the record and playback tool. That means you can record the stuff and just play back. That's all. You cannot write any logics, conditions, you know. Okay, so you cannot write anything. So the main drawback of it is in industry standards. So if you are involved in automation, you can understand. In industry standards, you need to have a robust framework to handle all some number of test cases. So as IDE cannot perform all those because there are no, except a record and playback, it cannot give you any manipulations or any customized stuff. And moreover, one more drawback is it will come as only Firefox plugin. That means you can record the stuff only in Firefox. If there is an application with you which runs only in Internet Explorer but not Firefox, then how can you record using Selenium IDE? This is the question which was arised in those days. And one more thing is Internet Explorer is the main usage tool in 2007, 8, 9 those days, and it comes only with Firefox IDE plugin. Then how can you show that is a robust? And these are the reasons IDE was not emerged as a main tool, QA tool, automation tool in the market. Okay, so later in 2000, so after some years, the tool released called Selenium RC. It is also called Selenium 1.0. Okay, the version is 1.0. The name of the version is Selenium RC. It is nothing but a remote control server. And this makes, after emerging this tool in the market, people started looking towards Selenium. Basically, this is nothing but code. You can write RC stuff in an editor. It's not like a record and playback tool. It's like writing code and running the test. It's not only for Firefox. It works with all browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Internet. Okay, so it works in multiple. What I have discussed till now, like multiple operating systems, multiple browsers, everything's RC. uh, Provides a robust framework also for framework purpose, but still it has a disadvantages. To know what are these disadvantages, you need to know the internal architecture of RC. Okay, so first of all, I'll explain you the architecture, and then you will have a clear idea what actually the disadvantages with this. Okay, I'll open Paint. Okay, only IDE is record playback tool. Remember, this is like, you know, it's like, it's tool, it's writing code and all RCs. Yeah, and assume that this is an editor where you write your RC code, and this is the application under test. I mean website in the browser where you need to automate from this code. So between these two, there is a server called a proxy server. Nothing but this server is RC server, remote control server. Okay, so when you write your Selenium code here, okay, we write Selenium code in Selenese language. Okay, the language called for writing RC code is Selenese. I mean it's Java, but still we will call as Selenese commands. Okay, when we write the code for, okay, I will write here, open the browser, open Firefox and hit some URL. So this command will go first to server, RC server. RC server interprets this Selenese command. Okay, I'll tell you a bit, when we ask here like type Google and in Firefox, so that step the command will go to RC server. RC server will interpret that command and will trigger that particular event in website using Java language. I mean using JavaScript internally. That means if I ask to click on button in code, whenever the clicking button code went to RC, RC interprets that command and will trigger the button clicking event using JavaScript on your website. This is how the things happen. Okay, I'll take one more example. I'll tell write and some text in web edit. So whenever the particular command reaches RC server, it will interpret it and it will trigger an event to write text in web edit using JavaScript internally on the application. And now I'll let you know what's the disadvantage here. As websites are becoming more and more robust, so browsers sometimes, okay, browsers impose strict rules like they will not allow Java security models on their sites. That means we are triggering the events using JavaScript, right? So if website is built with high secure, it may not allow JavaScript to trigger events on the browser. If that is the case, then RC will not perform any operation. Okay, so these days people are implementing high security so that no other language can trigger events in their site due to hacking issues. These hacking issues are becoming more and more. So browsers are imposing a strict act by not allowing any other scripts to trigger event on websites. Okay, as this is in latest versions, you can see in Firefox, Chrome 2324, they impose strict Java security model. So because of that, whenever it's trying to trigger any event using JavaScript, the browser is blocking it. Okay, and that's the reason you are not able to automate that application. And these reasons make RC to fail sometimes while running the code. Okay, this is one of the disadvantage of why it does not emerge in highway in I mean why it does not emerge in the year 8, 9 and 10 2000. And one more thing is you need to start server every time when you run the code. Like when you want to run this code, you need to start the server. There are some commands from command prompt where you need to go and start the server, and after finishing the script again you have to come and stop the server from manually. So it involves a lot of headache in writing the code. This is second disadvantage. Third disadvantage is because of proxy server. I mean, command should go to server and then it should go to application, right? This make the script a little bit slow. Running script is slow due to servers in the middle between the application under test and editor. Three reasons. Fourth reason is it is not supporting any mobile testing like Android and iPhone. Okay, so these are the four reasons, I mean disadvantage with the RC. Okay, main disadvantage is it is not allowing due to strict rules and browser. Sometimes you cannot trigger a Java events because it uses only JavaScript internally to handle a website, and that's the reason RC was not emerged into a high productivity in those days. And to overcome all these disadvantages, Selenium guys came with one more version that is called WebDriver. This is called Selenium 2.0 version. Okay, this version, the latest version, overcomes all the disadvantages which we have seen till now in RC, right? So I'll explain you how the WebDriver internal architecture works Then you will get a clear idea of where exactly it overcomes those disadvantages. Okay, yeah, we'll go back to Notepad again. I'll close it. Yeah, this is our editor where we write our WebDriver code, and this is the application under test. And now, unlike RC, there is no proxy server between application under test and editor. Okay, you can directly talk with browser. Okay, I'll tell you how it happens. See, before RC uses only JavaScript to trigger the events, right? But it's not in the case with a WebDriver. So, for example, Internet Explorer is built using C sharp. I mean, sorry, C++. So, WebDriver uses C++ language to talk with the browser events and trigger the particular action what we want to perform. And next, Firefox uses Java to build a browser. Okay, so WebDriver uses a Java to talk with the Firefox browser. That means it will talk to the browser based upon a browser implementation language. Due to that, there will be no any problems in accessing in triggering the events. For example, I don't know in what browser what language Safari has internally built, but when you run your code from the editor, WebDriver, it will find the Safari browser and it will talk. If Safari is built in some X language, it uses X language to talk to the browser and it triggers the events with the help of that X language. And due to this, it's independent of each browser. Whereas you take RC, whatever browser you ask to automate, it uses JavaScript to trigger the events in application. But in WebDriver, it's whatever the browser you are building in that it uses that particular browser language to trigger the event. So due to this, it there's no, I mean, you cannot fail the script anytime as it talks with its own browser language. That means you will not face any issues now with this WebDriver architecture. It talks directly with browser language. See, before why it failed, for example, uh, Fire Internet Explorer is built using C++. For example, think that somebody knows English. So when you go with them and talk the Spanish in language, can they understand? Before what we have seen is RC. It uses JavaScript to invoke, but Internet Explorer is C++. Okay, language mismatch, and sometimes it may fail. But whereas WebDriver, if you know English, I talk in English only. If you know Spanish, I talk with you in Spanish only, like that. So it talks a compatibility between the browser, I mean between application under test and your editor. That's the reason it overcomes the disadvantages of RC, and it will run very well in all the browsers, in all the applications. And unlike RC, there is no server for WebDriver. You can directly talk from application to editor. So because of this, there is no server starting and stopping headache, and it is fast compared to RC because there is no server in the middle, right? So it can directly talk with an application. So did you get how the WebDriver architecture is different from RC and how it overcomes the disadvantages with RC? And one more a beautiful thing to note is It supports Android and iPhone testing. You can work in both Android and iPhone platforms using the WebDriver. Okay, so only tool available in the market, functional testing tool available in the market is Selenium, which works for Android platform also. So QTP will not support any Android and that, right? So these are the different, and also if there are, if your application has a rich API like Ajax, jQuery and something, RC fails sometimes, but whereas WebDriver runs very well. Whatever API, however it may be, how the rich it may be, but still WebDriver works perfectly. Okay, so and this is a new version of WebDriver, and this RC version was officially depreciated. This is confirmed by Selenium guys. That means the further modifications and further implementations can be done in WebDriver only. Like tomorrow, if some Chrome 32 version comes and if it has some problems, they will fix in WebDriver only, but not in RC. Okay, that's completely depreciated product. So our training will be on this WebDriver. Plus, in industry standards also, whoever working on RC now they are migrating to WebDriver. Okay, because when there is an something available which is best than previous, why the people will stick to previous? They'll switch to the best, right? So because it supports a mobile testing and various versions, okay, and it has its own characteristic features. So due to this, this became a people's, it is emerging as a top product now in the market. Before RC has some disadvantages, uh, so it's still standing as second position. But now emerging of this WebDriver, it's emerging as a number one product in the market, QA Globe, in terms of automation testing tools. And not to remember, it is an open source. You can download it in just 5 minutes and you can start working. And no need of license, expired date, and all other stuff. Okay. In our training, we'll proceed with WebDriver with Java. Okay. Do you have any doubts till now? Please let me know. Okay, you can ping me in chat box if you have any. Okay, so I'll pass there and I'll clear you doubt before I switch to other topic. So we have discussed these three topics now, like history of Selenium, what are the versions available, and why a WebDriver. Okay, and now we will see the installation. I mean configuration procedure now. Basically, to write our WebDriver code, we use two editors. One is Eclipse and other is IntelliJ. Okay, but in our course we'll be using Eclipse to write our code. Before downloading the Eclipse, the first and foremost prerequisite is you need to have Java in your machine. So if you don't have Java, then Eclipse will not open. Okay, if you're not having Java, I'll show you how to download it. Okay, go to Google and type download Java, and here there comes the first site, download free Java software. And yeah, this is down, click this and download Java from here. And I have that link with me. I have pasted it in Word document. When I have sent this, you can directly use this link, hit the URL and get downloaded. Once you have downloaded it, I'll cross verify it from program files folder. If you find that folder in the program files, That means a Java is successfully installed in your machine. Okay. Uh, in this way you can check. No, don't make any changes. Just download and check whether the folder is present or not. That's it. So once a Java is downloaded, now you can download Eclipse. Okay. So without Java, you can download Eclipse, but when you are trying to open it, it will throw an error. Remember, I'll tell you how to download Eclipse. Okay. Uh, Download Eclipse. Download in Google search. Yeah, you will get the first link here. Click the link, and here Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers. Download this one, 228 MB. So here comes the question now. What bit to download, 32 or 64? So if you have downloaded Java of 32-bit version, then please go ahead and download 32-bit version Eclipse. Or if you have downloaded 64-bit Java, then download 64-bit Eclipse. But don't make mismatch in compatibility like 32-bit Java and 64-bit Eclipse. If you do like this, it will throw an error. Make sure that compatibility matches with both Eclipse and Java. Okay. If you want to 64-bit, go ahead both with 64. If not, choose 32 for both. But don't try one with 32 and other with 64. You will face the problem in opening an Eclipse. Because people will coming with me by asking, my Eclipse is not opening and stuff. First, make sure you install Java, and then make sure you match the compatibility with Java. Okay, go here and select based on your Java version. Once you download it, you will get it in zip format. Okay, extract it and open .exe file. .exe file will looks like this. Okay, Eclipse, see here, and open this once you have downloaded. Give me a moment, it's opening. Yeah, the Eclipse got open here, and this is how the first look how it looks when you get opened. Right now, till now there is no WebDriver. I have not downloaded anywhere here. Just I have downloaded Java and I downloaded Eclipse, an editor, a normal editor. Okay, so now remaining thing is a WebDriver. Till now I did not use anywhere WebDriver stuff. I mean Selenium stuff. I'm just, because this is an open source, we just assemble all the parts. For writing editor, I have took Eclipse. As we are writing in Java, so I took Java. Now I'll take a WebDriver stuff. So one thing you need to remember is, when you want to download the WebDriver, whoever made this WebDriver, they have used all the program into a jar file. Okay, he created a jar file. We will just import the jar file into our Eclipse project. That's it. The Selenium is successfully configured in your machine. Please don't use the word like installing Selenium. We'll just say like configuring Selenium. Okay, it's not a tool to install. It's just a jar file. We will import that WebDriver jar file into projects here. Okay, I'll show you how to create a project and how to import the WebDriver jar file into the Eclipse. Okay, remember, we should not use the terminology like installing Selenium. We'll just select configuring Selenium into our machine. That's it. So just I'll create a project and import WebDriver jars into my project so that I can start running my first code in that project. Okay, now I'll show you how to create a project with the screenshots. I have the screenshots with me. Okay, but still I'll take you again and I'll send you across the screenshots. So follow those screenshots and create a project in your local machine after opening an Eclipse, right? Okay. Yeah. First, right click on Package Explorer, this white editor. Right click here. Go to View and select a Java project. Yeah. I'm taking screenshots for your reference. Yeah. And okay. Now some VQS, something I'm getting. Weekday. This is how you write a create a project name. Give some name here and click on finish. So the project is successfully, I mean, reflected in our package explorer. See that weekday underscore US. This is the way how we create a project. It's simple. Right click, new, click on Java project, write the name, and click on OK. That's all. And now I will show you how to import the jar file from a WebDriver. I mean, okay, for that, as usually, go again to Google, type download Selenium. So this is the official website of Selenium. So whoever making the Selenium, any updates and all, they'll post on this site. If you want to know what are the new updates and new support browsers and all, you can come here and check in seleniumhq.org. This is the site. So type the keyword Selenium, you will get here. Let's enter into that site. Okay, and this is about IDE. We need WebDriver, right? Okay, here you see. Better I'll take this is also screenshot. Sorry, I'm trying to paste it in. Okay, here, 1 second. Yeah, see here you will see some heading like client and WebDriver language bindings. So these are the 4 languages available to you. If you want to download Java WebDriver jars, click here the download. If you want to go with a C#, use this. So in whatever language you are writing the code, download those particular jars. Okay. So I am using Java. Please download this. It's like just 30 MB or something. Just 5-10 minutes it will take. Okay. Once you download this, it will store in your local machine. Yeah. Let me show how it will come. Yeah. It will come in this zip format. Extract it. It will be like this folder and open it. Okay. So when I am downloading, there is 2. 2.8 version. Okay, but now it is 2.31 version, February 27 latest one. So whenever some modifications are happening, they will fix it and they will release it as new version. Okay, so keep it in your machine. Now I'll show you how to import it into our project with screenshots. Right click, properties, yeah, here in the properties, uh, Java build path, and here click this Java build path, and then it will open you this stuff. Here what you have to do, you need to add jars, right, which is external which is from your local machine. So just click on add external jars. Okay, it will take you to the desired location, and here open this folder. Okay, open this folder, and these two are jars. Select both two and give an open. Those two will get reflected here. Can you see this? Yeah, but still there are some jars left. Again click on add external jars. See, there is a folder called lips. Open it. In this folder you find so many jars. Okay, select all of those and give an open. See, all those got imported. Okay, so we'll do one thing. I'll take a screenshot. When you click on add external jars, uh, first you will have to import these two. I'll take, so once you import it, again click on add external jars and open lips folder, control A. Select all these and click on open. If you miss any one jar also, your WebDriver program will not run. You have to be very careful. You should import all the jars. Just press Ctrl A, it will select all the jars, those and these two also. If you miss any of one, that's it. Program will not run. Okay, I have imported all the jar files and click OK. That's it. Our project has been we have successfully imported a Selenium WebDriver into the Eclipse. Okay, so cross verify by opening this. There will be term called reference libraries. Open this, you will find all the jars what you have imported just now. Okay, that's it. Selenium setup is ready. We have downloaded Eclipse editor and we made it ready. We have used Java. We have imported WebDriver also. That's all. This is the Selenium setup. As I'm telling, it's open source. I have shown you within 5 minutes how to set up Selenium into your machine. Hereafter, just start with code. That's all. Start automating sites. Create a class and start writing project. Start writing code. So everything is ready. We have installed. We have configured Selenium successfully now. Everything is fine now. This is how we make a setup of Selenium. Okay. So I have taken the screenshots of importing jars and where to download the Selenium. I will send you across by end of the day, and also you have the document with you. So if you see WebDriver jar files, you have seen how to download Eclipse, what bits, and you also saw loading jar files into project. Okay, by this the setup is ready, and you are also clear with what is the Selenium history or what are the different versions available, and finally why we are sticking to WebDriver, and you also got an idea on this. And before that, you got an introduction of what is Selenium and is it open source, what are the browsers it supports, what are OS it supports, and how many languages we can write. And you have also seen what is RC architecture, WebDriver architecture, and differences between those two. And Android supports WebDriver. Okay, download Eclipse, created a project, and loaded jar files. And thereafter, we can write the first WebDriver program. Okay, so that's what pretty much about this first session. So today I'll be sending you this screenshot document and also this day one class, so you can verify the notes what I have given here. Yeah, and there are reasons here why WebDriver. No servers required to start, no support for Android in RC. Okay, you have all the notes what I have told in class. And WebDriver, this is the browser support, and you also have download links for Java, WebDriver, and Eclipse. And make sure the compatibility match it properly. Okay. Any doubts in today's class? Can you please acknowledge in chat box? Do you have any issues with the class? Hope so. You don't have any. Yes. How much Java knowledge is expected? Good question. So this is the basic question which everyone faces. Thing is, you need to know OOPS concepts. Okay. So how to create a class, how to create an object, what is an interface, for loop, while loop. Okay. That's it. And some data structures. If you want to develop a framework from scratch, then you need some heavy Java. But to learn Selenium, a tool, you need basic core Java. And forget about it. And I will teach you when the particular Java stuff comes. I will teach you clearly, and I'll switch to Selenium. And however, we'll do some exercises on for loops, while loops to get a, minimum hands-on, familiar with the stuff. Okay, I'll be using loops in when I'm writing about WebDriver, and then I will take some sample programs and will run. Okay, a minimum core Java is expected. Will you also teach how to test a Ruby programs? No, this course is entirely Java. So Ruby syntax is again that's a different. We'll be using Java in our course, Java with a WebDriver, not a Ruby and all other things. Only Java. Okay, as it don't fear about this. Can we expect this recording available? Yeah, I think you will get a recording videos for 1 month, I guess. Yes, you have that feature. You can ask my Vanilla regarding that. She will mail you. You can get videos also, videos and notes also. Okay, that will help you. Yeah, that will be good if you have a glance once again, right? Yes, you will get that for 1 month, I guess. It limited access will be there. You need to prepare in that. And just this today, after I'll end of your day, I'll send you this by using the screenshots and all. Just try to download Eclipse and import the jar files by seeing the screenshots. Let's see how far you can do. If not, if you're stuck anywhere, I'll let you know in the next class. Okay. In the next class, we'll start with the first WebDriver program. So as I told you, we have some 4 modules. After each module, we will discuss about interview questions and what are the core concepts. Okay, a revision. One day we will have a revision before switching to other module. Right. So can we wind up today?